Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. In every episode of Bolus 4, Jenny Smith and I are going to take a few minutes to talk through how to bolus for a single item of food. Jenny and I are going to follow a little bit of a roadmap called Meal Bolt. Measure the meal, evaluate yourself, add the base units, layer a correction, build the bolus shape, offset the timing, look at the CGM, tweak for next time. Having said that, these episodes are going to be very conversational and not incredibly technical. We want you to hear how we think about it, but we also would like you to know that this is kind of the pathway we're considering while we're talking about it. So while you might not hear us say every letter of Meal Bolt in every episode, we will be thinking about it while we're talking. If you want to learn more, go to juiceboxpodcast.com/meal-bolt. But for now, we'll find out how to bolus for today's subject. Please don't forget that nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan or becoming bold with insulin. Summertime is right around the corner, and Omnipod 5 is the only tube-free automated insulin delivery system in the United States. Because it's tube-free, it's also waterproof, and it goes wherever you go. Learn more at my link, omnipod.com/juicebox. That's right, Omnipod is sponsoring this episode of the podcast, and at my link, you can get a free starter kit. Terms and conditions apply. Eligibility may vary. Full terms and conditions can be found at omnipod.com/juicebox. Jenny, I have a list in front of me here that says this is the top 10 best-selling cereals by boxes sold. There are going to be a lot of words here you don't know. Cheerios, Frosted Flakes, Honey Nut Cheerios, Honey Bunches of Oats, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms, Frosted Mini Wheats, Life, and my favorite from when I was a child, Fruity Pebbles. Now,
Fruity Pebbles.
You know a Fruity Pebble?
I know what they look like, yeah. Yes.
They're nothing like those bastardized Cocoa Pebbles, which are just garbage. I don't even know. I've never had them. So,
are they the same maker?
One's chocolate and one's fruit. I bet you it's not chocolate or fruit, by the way. I just want to say that.
I'm quite sure not.
So let's pick one of these and bolus for it. You want to go
okay.
How about Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Oh my gosh. Sure.
Sure. You think it has cinnamon in it? It might. Hold on a second.
It might.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'm sure
cereal.
that it has cinnamon. Either that or the side of it says cinnamon flavoring.
Well, you can get a mega box of it for $6.21. What a deal. Let's see here. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I am looking at its label. All right, Jenny, let's see.
What is the serving size? 3/4 of a cup?
Oh, interesting. The serving size is 1 cup.
Oh, 1 cup.
Yeah,
okay.
Actually, I got thrown off a little bit because this label is in English and Spanish, and I kept going like, this doesn't seem like a word I know. Sorry.
Oops.
So it's 1 cup, total carbohydrates, 33. What is 33, like the magic number or something like that? 33 grams of carbs, dietary fiber, 3 grams. People are going to be like, are you subtracting the fiber? You're not subtracting fiber. Yeah, right.
No, you don't subtract fiber.
Total sugar, 12. This is exactly the same as like the last thing we did. How is that? Yeah. That's crazy. But this isn't going to hit like the oats. This is going to hit like a truck.
Mm-hmm.
So also milk, right? So we have to like
a cup of milk.
We're going to have to do a cup of milk on the side.
Just do a standard 1 cup of milk.
Okay, hold on a second. And now, is there anybody that only eats a cup of cereal?
That's the question.
I just made Jenny giggle.
I'm just referring back to the big vats on the wall in a cafeteria at college.
Okay.
That, like, it's got the pour nozzle that you just pull it down and it cranks it all out into your bowl. And I remember watching people fill their bowls at school with Like the Jethro bowl of cereal.
Wait, what's a Jethro bowl? What did you just say?
Gigantic.
Okay.
the whole bowl. Really, it was probably a half of a box of cereal in a bowl as though they'd sit down to eat.
Hold on a second. Food label, milk. Whole milk? What do you drink?
Oh, we don't drink milk. Sorry.
I'm just going to put whole milk.
The dairy industry is going to be like, ban that girl. She doesn't drink milk.
Cup of whole milk. It was hilarious. 12 carbs and no fiber. 12 grams of sugar?
Mm-hmm.
Sugar and milk? Why is everything 12?
Oh, 12 grams. That's because the carbohydrate is the same as the sugars, right?
Okay, yeah, but it's not like added, right? They're not adding. It's
not added. No,
that's all. It just panicked me. I was like, they're not adding sugar to milk, are they?
Nope, milk sugar. Essentially, it's in there naturally.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'll accept that. So we got to figure out what an actual serving size is. I mean, it's, I bet you it's 3 cups.
I would say the majority of people eat 2 cups.
2? Okay.
I would say 2 cups.
So does that?
And I'm thinking kiddos.
Okay.
Right.
I think that's the biggest problem is that people just look on the back like, oh, it's 33 carbs. And then they just fill the bowl up with it. And
right.
Yeah.
So exactly. So what's the first step? Measure.
Yeah. So first step, measure. So we're going to measure and say we're having 2 cups, which is now 66 carbs. And does that mean we end up with 2 cups of milk, or you think it's still 1 cup of milk?
I would still say 1 cup of milk.
All right, we'll be generous and say 1 cup of milk. 66 carbs from the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and 12 from the milk is 78 total carbs. Okay, now we're going to evaluate ourselves, right? Again,
yes.
It's morning time. Are you a person who has... Boy, I wonder how many people are going to realize they do or don't have trouble bolusing in the morning, that it's more about the food and the lack of pre-bolus than their scenario. But you want to check your blood sugar. If you have a CGM, take a look at it. If you don't, please check with the meter. Do you have any insulin on board? What kind of a day is this going to be? Is it going to be a stressful day? Is it going to be an active day? That might impact how you bolus. Probably not for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, however.
Right.
So we're going to calculate our food bolus, Jenny. We have 78 carbs, and
that's a lot of carbohydrates.
You guys, I wish this is not even, this should just be video. So you could just see Jenny going like, in a day? Is that a week? I don't understand. But 78 carbs. And so that's 7.8 units of insulin using our standardized 1 to 10 carb ratio, which we're doing for all of our examples. So now we have 7.8 units of insulin that we need. I mean, let's say the kid's wakes up at 130. I think a lot of you'd be thrilled if your kid woke up at 130, right? But we're also 1 unit moves you 100 points. So let's add another,
third of a unit,
another 0.3 to it. Let's just call it 8 for fun. Now, we got to take a look at what we're going to do. We're going to build this bolus up. Like, what are we going to do with it? Pre-bolus. 4 a.m, Jenny? When do you put it in? I'm sure I've written blogs about it. I'm sure I've talked about it on the podcast that, Arden actually, after we left an endo appointment one day, asked me back when we just didn't know what we were doing and everything was upside down. Our A1C was in like the mid 8s. Is there anything I can do to help you with this? Like a little kid standing in a parking lot said to me, and I said, you could stop eating cereal for a little while till I can figure this out.
Yeah.
But I did get back to it. And, she doesn't eat cereal anymore, but I did figure out how to bolus for it. And I'm going to tell you that the answer is an aggressive pre-bolus, an aggressive amount of insulin, and you need momentum on your side when that cereal kicks. Like there has to be such a pull from that insulin when that cereal kicks that you can keep your stability. I mean, I don't know. What do you think you're going to say a half an hour, right? Today's episode is brought to you by Omnipod. It might sound crazy to say, but summertime is right around the corner. That means more swimming, sports, activities, vacations, and you know what's a great feeling? Being able to stay connected to automated insulin delivery while doing it all. Omnipod 5 is the only tube-free automated insulin delivery system in the US. And because it's tube-free and waterproof, it goes everywhere you do. In the pool, in the ocean, or on the soccer field. Unlike traditional insulin pumps, you never have to disconnect from Omnipod 5 for daily activities, which means you never have to take a break from automated insulin delivery. Ready to go tube-free? Request your free Omnipod 5 starter kit today at omnipod.com/juicebox. Terms and conditions apply. Eligibility may vary. Full terms and conditions can be found at omnipod.com/juicebox. Type that link into your browser or go to juiceboxpodcast.com and click on the image of Omnipod right at the bottom. There's also a link right in the show notes of your podcast player.
Well, one thing I would say is if you have an idea of what you've mastered with another type of meal that isn't cereal.
Yeah. This is
and
ninja
let's say it's
level
12
stuff.
minutes.
Yeah.
Let's say you've mastered something that you love to eat. It's 12 minutes.
Okay.
It has a different hit than cereal does. For high glycemic like this, my strategy is double that as a starting place.
Okay. So if 12 works for you for most things, you're going to 24 minutes.
Yeah. Or 25 to round it out. Just make it nice and even and say, okay, 25 minutes. This is a hard hitting. Now we've doubled the serving size on the package, right? It's not just 1 cup. We're eating 2 cups of it. And we're now eating 24 grams of added sugar.
Yeah.
You know how many teaspoons of sugar that is?
Do you know? 24 grams of sugar is how many teaspoons of sugar?
Yeah. How many grams of carb is in 1 teaspoon? Did I stump Scott?
I don't think I know. Is it 2? No, a teaspoon. Like a a teaspoon, like a measuring teaspoon. 4? Wait, there's 4 carbs in a measuring teaspoon of sugar. So not like the teaspoon that you use to put in your coffee, which is probably 5 teaspoons. So what does that mean? Contextualize that for me.
Yeah. So now we have 12 grams in a cup. We're eating 2 cups of this cereal. That's 24 grams of sugar.
24 grams.
24 divided by 4 is how many teaspoons?
6? 12.
There you go.
Wow. Really?
So I bring this in, this is not a judgment. This is a teaching piece, but it's teaching in the fact of we're considering the glycemic impact of this food. We're not just eating 1 serving. Now we're eating 2. So you're increasing the load effect of a high glycemic food.
Yeah. Also, let me read the ingredients for you from Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Whole grain wheat, sugar. Also, I don't know if people know this. The order they're in is their amounts. So it's Correct. Mostly whole grain wheat. It is second, mostly sugar. Third, rice flour, canola, and or sunflower oil. Can they not make up their minds? What does and or mean? So whatever they got laying around?
It's whatever it's a mix. Yeah, there you go.
Now, what do we got today? Throw it in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are now 5 things deep. The next item that is most prevalent in Cinnamon Toast Crunch is fructose. Then maltodextrin, dextrose, which I think sounds like another way to say sugar.
It is.
We've just said sugar 3 times in a row, right? Sugar, fructose, dextrose. Is sugar, sugar. Am I right about that?
100%.
Okay, all right. Salt. Wow, cinnamon. We got the cinnamon pretty early.
Oh, and it's not cinnamon flavor. It's real salt.
It says
real cinnamon.
It's probably in there to mask whatever trisodium phosphate is. Soy lecithin, caramel color, rosemary extract. Oh, a little of the nature. BH2 added to preserve freshness, vitamins and minerals, calcium carbonate, vitamin C, iron, zinc. They list them all here. A, B.
And what are those there for? They're enriched or fortified,
to call
right?
It enriched or fortified because it's processed.
All of that whole grain wheat at the first ingredient, that's been stripped.
Yeah.
Of all the beneficial vitamins.
Right. Oddly enough, like percentage of your daily value for the vitamins, it's between 10 and 20% for all those. So
yes.
Yeah. They're giving you a vitamin in there. You could have took it on your own though. We're going to pre-bolus this meal, double of what you find to be working with a food item that you're good at bolusing for. Again, I'll tell you, like on something this aggressively glycemic, I mean, there's a load here and an impact, right? The load from the processed food, the impact from the sugar. I think if you bolus for this, even super aggressively, and you're on an algorithm, and that algorithm's going to go, here's the insulin. If you, I don't like this word, but if you mess up that pre-bolus and don't get the insulin ahead of the spike that's coming, that algorithm is going to sit for hours and not give you basal. There's no way you're not going to be 400 if you mess up the pre-bolus.
Potentially.
Yeah. Well, no way. There's a way, but like Yeah, potentially. And at least on a regular pump, your basal's still churning and might get in the way of it a little bit. So now, if this all works, I know this is going to sound crazy to people. Wait, somebody online is going to call me a insulin pusher. I can keep a steady line with cereal. It's a lot of insulin and a lot of timing, and you can do it. Would I do this every day? Even if I could, I would not. I'm just being honest with you. I've seen my daughter eat a bowl of cereal once in the last year and a half. So, and she was sick, and she's like, you know what I want? And I was like, what do you want? She's like, and she said,
Cheerios
one of these cereals. Yeah. Like, I was like, all right. But could I do it? I could. I don't think it's the greatest decision you're ever going to make in your life. But if this is your sitch, what am I, 10? If this is your situation, I want you to bolus well for the cereal. That's all. Right. Like, I mean, I just don't want you having high blood sugars, which, by the way, are going to, at some point, those big spikes are going to turn into like a crashing low at some point in the future, too. So
it could if you don't figure out your strategy. And that's where the end of our acronym, your acronym, right? It comes in, it's evaluate, watch, that 1 hour, 3 hours, 5 hours. How did this meal filter out for you? What do you have to tweak for next time? And I'd go back to a friend of mine who I've had for a long, long time. She also has type 1, almost as long as I do. And I don't know that she still does it, but years ago, before all of the AID assisted types of systems on the market, she wanted cereal once a year for her birthday.
Yeah.
That's what she wanted. And she did. She didn't have your acronym, but she figured it out. She tested it out. And what she found works. This is not medical advice. I'm not encouraging you to do this, but this is what she found.
Jenny, none of this is medical advice. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
we're just talking.
It was a timing thing. So she had to get the initial step of insulin added the right way. And what she found worked was doubling the dose of insulin that she would normally take for cereal. And on the back end, she suspended her pump.
Okay.
So at the bolus time, she suspended her pump for hours after.
And over-bolused the hell out of the cereal.
Over-bolused up front to get ahead of getting too high. And on the back end, she balanced it out because she took away the basal, which is a slower drip, 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 and she could take it away easily.
So that might work on an AID as well.
It could potentially. Yeah.
What people have to understand about the algorithms, like at a basic level, is you tell it, these are your settings, and this is how much I ate. It believes you.
Right.
It is not going to adjust because your blood sugar like shot up out of nowhere. It goes, no. They told us how much we did, and we did the right amount. Like, we're going to keep doing the thing we're doing. Now, some of them will, start pushing back as something rises and rises, but that pushback is not going to be aggressive enough to overcome a major miss in the amount of insulin or the amount of timing that you choose. Okay. All right. Like, I know it's not food you ate, but do you think you could sit down right now, eat 2 cups of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and bolus for it? Yes?
Yes.
If I get you to do that on video one day, that'd be awesome.
Could I do it? I could do it. Okay. I probably wouldn't pick Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I would pick something else that I'd prefer.
I take my hall pass on that one. All right. I appreciate it. We covered it, right? We're good?
Of course. No, it's great. Yeah. Perfect.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Summertime is right around the corner, and Omnipod 5 is the only tube-free automated insulin delivery system in the United States. Because it's tube-free, it's also waterproof, and it goes wherever you go. Learn more at my link, omnipod.com/juicebox. That's right, Omnipod is sponsoring this episode of the podcast, and at my link, you can get a free starter kit. Terms and conditions apply. Eligibility may vary. Full terms and conditions can be found at omnipod.com/juicebox. Hey, thanks for listening all the way to the end. I really appreciate your loyalty and listenership. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. In each episode of the Bolus 4 series, Jenny Smith and I are going to pick one food and talk through the bolusing for that food. We hope you find it valuable. Generally speaking, we're going to follow a bit of a formula, the Meal Bolt formula, MEALBOLT. You can learn more about it at juiceboxpodcast.com/meal-bolt. But here's what it is. Step 1, M, measure the meal. E, evaluate yourself. A, add the base units. L, layer a correction. B, build the bolus shape. O, offset the timing. L, look at the CGM. And T, tweak for next time. In a nutshell, we measure our meal, total carbohydrates, protein, fat, consider the glycemic index and the glycemic load. And then we evaluate yourself. What's your current blood sugar, how much insulin's on board, and what kind of activity are you going to be involved in or not involved in? Do you have any stress, hormones, illness? What's going on with you? Then A, we add the base units. Your carbs divided by insulin to carb ratio, just a simple bolus. L, layer a correction, right? Do you have to add or subtract insulin based on your current blood sugar? Build the bolus shape. Are we going to give it all up front, 100% for a fast digesting meal, or is there going to be like a combo or a square wave bolus? Does it have to be extended? I'll set the timing. This is about pre-bolusing. Does it take a couple of minutes this meal, or maybe 20 minutes? Are we going to have to again consider combo square wave boluses and meals? Figure out the timing of that meal. And then L, look at the CGM. An hour later, was there a fast spike? 3 hours later, was there a delayed rise? 5 hours later, is there any lingering effect from fat and protein? Tweak. Tweak for next time. T. What did you eat? How much insulin and when? What did your blood sugar curve look like? What would you do next time? This is what we're going to talk about in every episode of Bolus for. Measure the meal, evaluate yourself, add the base units, layer a correction, build the bolus shape, offset the timing, look at the CGM, tweak for next time. But it's not going to be that confusing, and we're not going to ask you to remember all of that stuff. But that's the pathway that Jenny and I are going to use to speak about each bolus. The episode you just heard was professionally edited by Wrong Way Recording. WrongWayRecording.com.